Om Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vamsha Rishibhyo Namo Gurubhyaha. So we were looking at the Ashvala Brahmanam, which is the first Brahmana in the 3rd chapter. Here, the interesting story is that Janaka has conducted a big yajna, and Bhashyakara actually guesses that it is Ashwamedha Yajna, where lot of dakshina was given. Of course, if lot of dakshina is given in any yajna, a lot of brahmanas will come there. So they all came from Kuru and Panchala Desha. All the brahmanas attended, or most of them attended. And then Janaka had a question in his mind that he wanted to know who is the best. Anuchana Tamaha is the word used. So who is the best amongst all these scholars who are well versed in both the Vedas and the Veda Angas? He wanted to know that. So for knowing that, what he does is that's again very interesting. So he gets 1,000 young cows, okay, good milk yielding cows, ties some gold also to their horns, and then he basically gathers all these cows under a particular stable, then announces that whoever is the best amongst you, you can take all these cows along with the gold. Then nobody is coming forward, because everybody in one way thinks that they are the best, but still they don't have the confidence to come and claim the prize. Then Yajnavalkya comes there and calls his Shishya, E Samashrava, like that, and tells his Shishya that you can take all these cows. Please drive away all these cows to our Gurukulam. And his Shishya starts driving away the cows. Now looking at all this, then others suddenly feel angry, that they think that somehow Yajnavalkya has slighted them because he claims that he is the best. That means implicitly they are all somehow inferior to him. And how can he arrogantly claim that he is the best? All these thoughts are running through their mind, I think. So then one person, Ashvala, who is the Hota of Janaka, he is the royal Rigvedic priest of Janaka. He comes forward to interrogate our Yajnavalkya. In fact, he also angrily first asks Yajnavalkya that, do you think you are the best? Okay. Or do you claim that you are the best amongst all of us here? Then Yajnavalkya actually gives a very, very interesting answer. He says that I do namaskara to whoever is the best here. Okay. In fact, so implicitly he says I am not really claiming I am the best, but then he says, but I am a Pashukamaha. I am only interested in all these cows. I want all these cows. Therefore, I am taking away the cows. But I will do namaskara to whoever is the best here. Then, but still anyway, Yajnavalkya has implicitly claimed the prize. Means he has to be the best, so they cannot allow him to take away all the cows just like that. So Ashvala starts questioning Yajnavalkya. That is why this particular Brahmana is the conversation between Ashvala and Yajnavalkya. So it is called Ashvala Brahmana. So in this, basically, Ashvala is questioning about how a person who is doing a yajna can transcend the space and time and attain at least relative immortality, we can say. So for that, what kind of upasana one can do, because karma alone will not give you that phala. And also the whatever upasanas which are specified here, it also has a connection with already what was given in 1.3, if you go back, which is called Udgita Brahmana, I think. In fact, the first chapter, third Brahmana is a very interesting Brahmana. And in that only we have this famous Asato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya also, which is almost the last vakya in that. So that there is a story there. So there is a reference to that story also here. Bhashyakara also quotes that here. Here, the first question which Ashwala asks is, how does the Yajamana transcend Mrityu? Okay. Now the word Mrityu is used here somewhat technically because Bhashyakara does not directly take it as death. Bhashyakara is taking the meaning of Mrityu, say Mrityuna, he has given here. I think this Bhashyanal we saw last week itself. Mrityuna means he says karma lakshanena swabhavika asanga sahitena aptam vyaptam. Because the Upanishad has Mrityuna aptam. For that, Bhashyakara is giving the meaning karma lakshanena means what? That which is characterized by karma. So any karma is in reality mrityu only. That's what Bhashyakara is pointing out, because the results of karma are always limited. So any limitation is really death or yama only, or mrityu. So we can see that here karma lakshana, and again karma itself is, where is it born from? That is important, correct? Why do we do karma? Why everybody is always wanting to do something, to achieve something? It is like a pressure, correct? Nobody can just, if you catch somebody and put them in some confinement and all that, they feel so bad about it. So that means we always want to do something. That is because there is a natural instinct also is there, and that instinct is born out of a certain ignorance about oneself. Because one takes oneself as the limited individual, once you take that as a fact, then you can't but do something about it, correct? You have to do something about all the limitations which are plaguing you. You want to get rid of all those limitations, and the only way people know for that is to do something and get something. So by adding something, by accomplishing something, by going something, they think that those limitations are going to go away. So this is basically a natural tendency only. And again, so by being connected to this natural tendency, that's what Bhashyakara is saying, swabhavika asanga sahitena, he says. Because of that only, means then the doer is pervaded by mrityu. Not only the whoever is doing the yajna, but he has also employed a priest. That priest is with reference to the yajna. Whatever the organ, okay, here we are actually talking about doing an upasana, that this Agni and Vak. Agni is the Devata, Vak is the Indriya. The Indriya is Adhyatma, means it is with reference to the individual's body, mind, sense complex. The Hota, the priest, the Rigvedic priest, is with reference to the Yajna. And the Devata, Adi Devata is Agni, because Agni is the Adhisthana Devata of Vak. Now here the Vak and the Hota, they are pervaded by Mrityu, because both of them are limited, both of them are individual. But the Agni is the Devata, Agni is the totality, and that way Agni is actually unlimited, is because Agni as the Devata is manifest wherever Vak as a phenomenon is manifest, and that is countless. So now what is the Upasana here? How do we overcome the limitations of the individual? As long as you are identifying with the individual Vag Indriya, you cannot overcome the limitations of the Vag Indriya. In fact, Vag Indriya itself functions properly only for a few years. Once you become old, all Indriyas are also actually deteriorating in their ability to work. At least Vag, I think, works most of the time. But eyes, ears and all, they deteriorate faster actually. So here, as long as your identity is there with the individual Indriya, then you cannot overcome Mrityu. The same with the Hota also. Hota also is an individual person who is doing the yajna for you. If you look at the Hota as a person, as an individual, that person also is limited in what that person can do or what, and also that person also is going to die anyway. So then how do you transcend when these limitations are there? You have to see the Hota and your own Indriya as Agni Devata. So that is the Upasana here. The Upasana is to visualize your own Indriya as Agni, and also the Hota who is doing the Yajna also as Agni. So when you do that, what happens? That's what Bhashyakara says. I think we were looking at this Vakya here, correct? So yed etad yajnasya sadhanadvayam, he says. So there is a yajna is there. For doing that yajna, you need two sadhanas. What? One is during yajna you have to chant mantra and all that, correct? Without vak, you cannot do yajna. So there is adhyatma sadhana, is your own vak is there. And then adhi yajna sadhana means also to do the yajna you need the priest, hota. So that is adi yajnam. So Bhashyakara says that hota cha ritvik adi yajnam. So the hota who is a ritvik is with reference to the yajna itself, and adhyatmancha vak. Vak is the sadhana with reference to your own body. Etad ubhayam, these two, sadhana dvayam, these two means, okay, for performing this yajna, parichinnam. They both are limited and they are mrityuna aptam. They are pervaded by mrityu. And so again here he explains this. Why it is pervaded by mrityu means he says swabhavika ajnana asanga prayuktena, because of them being connected with this swabhavika, this whatever natural tendencies which are again born out of ignorance only of oneself. And due to that you are prayukta means what? You are impelled. As long as you see yourself as a limited individual, you will be impelled to do karma. So swabhavika ajnana asanga prayuktena karmana mrityuna. Okay, so the karma itself is the mrityu here, which itself is because of you seeing yourself as a limited individual due to your ignorance. Okay, that's the connection. And also what this karma means, what? Whatever you gain from karma, that also Bhashyakara explains here. Pratikshanam anyathatvam apadyamanam. So even if you gain something with the karma, that is changing all the time. Pratikshanam, he says, every second it is anyathatvam means what? It is attaining another state. So whatever you gain through karma, they are all the time they are changing. Of course, if you look at it for 1 second, you may not notice anything, but even in that 1 second, really change is happening. Correct? In fact, yesterday when we were talking, we were saying that even mountain flows. So in fluid mechanics, but nobody will believe this, correct? If you say that mountain is flowing, but if you take enough time, maybe geological time and all that, mountains are also growing in height, are flowing also sideways and all that. So it is like that. So Bhashyakara says that very clearly here. Any karma phala is all the time changing. Therefore, they are all under the spell of mrityu. So it says mrityuna vashikritam Bhashyakara. Okay, so therefore what? Tat anena adhidaivata rupena agnina drishyamanam yajamanasya yajnasya mrityoho atimuktaye bhavati. So this being the case, if the Yajamana, correct, sees these two things, one's own vak and the hota, as the Adhideva Rupa, in the form of Adhidevata. My vak also is really Agni Devata only. The hota also is really Agni Devata. If you are able to do upasana like that, visualize like that, and see the truth in that, then what? So it becomes the sadhana for you to be liberated from your own these limitations of this individuality. So Yajamanasya, here you can see Yajnasya Mrityoho Atimuktaye Bhavati, he says. So that means it becomes a sadhana for transcending this limitation if you are able to see these two in the form of Agni, who is the Devata. And that is said by the Upanishad, how Tad Etadaha Sa Muktihi Sa Hota Agnihi Muktihi Agni Swarupa Darshanam Eva Muktihi. So here you can see here the Upanishad is saying here Tad Yeyam Vak Soyam Agnihi Sa Hota Sa Muktihi Sa Ati Muktihi, like that it is there here. No, that's what he is giving in the Bhashya part. So Sa Hota Agnihi Muktihi means what? So here it is there, correct? Agnihi Saha Muktihi. So Bhashyakara says Agni Swarupa Darshanam Eva Muktihi. So you have to see the Hota as Agni Swarupa. Swarupa, the very nature of this Hota is nothing but Agni. And so if you are able to see that, then you have transcended the limitations of the body of the Hota itself, because Hota is nothing but Agni there. So Yadeva Sadhana Dvayam Agni Rupena Pashyati Tadanimeva hi Swabhavikat Asangat Mrityoho Vimuchyate. So as soon as you see your own vak and the hota as Agni, correct, in the form of Agni, then only what? You are freed from your natural tendencies. The connection with the natural tendency means what? Taking vak as only an individual indriya. No, you don't see it like that. It is really Agni Devata. Similarly, taking the hota as nothing but some physical body, mind, sense complex. No, the hota also is Agni Swarupa. So if you are able to see that, then you are freed from this, whatever the natural connection or tendency of the Indriya itself and also of the hota. Therefore, Adhyatmikat Parichinna Rupat Adi Bhautikat Cha. So again, in this case, the vak is Adhyatmika, we saw that already, and that is limited. And also the hota is Adi Yajnam. Bhashyakara here he says Adi Bhautikat also. That is because the hota also is made up of all the Pancha Bhutas only, and the surroundings are normally called Adi or Adi Bhautikam. So Adhyatmikam, the Tapatrayam also we talk about, correct, in the Shastra. You can have afflictions from three realms, you can say. What are those realms? One is Adhyatmika, we say. Your own body can afflict you. You are not able to sit in the class, back pain is there. All that is your own affliction, correct? It's all centered on your own body, mind, sense complex. You have a lot of problems. Then the surroundings also can be a problem. They are all Adi Bhautika. The surrounding is too hot, too cold, mosquitoes are there, some other insects are there, whatever. Or even earthquake, tsunami and all can come. Too much rain, tornado, whatnot. those are all Adi. Adi, Bhautika means with reference to your surroundings. Then Devas also have to be favorably oriented. Otherwise, the Adi Daivika Tapa also is possible. So that way we have 3 times we say Shanti to resolve all these afflictions. So here, both this Adhyatmika and Adi Bhautika are limited. They are all Parichinna. Only the Adi Daivika is Aparichinna. So you have to see these two as this Adi Daivika. Then you have overcome their limitations. Therefore, what here? Tasmat Sahota Agni Rupena Drishtaha Muktihi is the Mukti Sadhanam Yajamanasya. So the seeing the Hota as the Agni itself is Mukti, or it is the Mukti Sadhana for the Yajamana, he said, because the Yajamana then transcends Mrityu, which is nothing but limitation born out of karma. Then that seeing itself is Mukti, but the seeing has to give you a result, correct? That is what is here called as Sa Ati Mukti also. So actually for Ati Mukti, this seeing which is Mukti is a sadhana. So Bhashyakara is pointing out that also. Ati Mukti is the result of seeing your own Indriya and the Hota as the Agni Devata. The result of that is you yourself will now become Agni Swarupa. That means you are now identifying with the totality by which you have overcome these limitations. So Bhashyakara is explaining that Yaivacha Muktihi Sa Ati Muktihi Ati Mukti Sadhanam Ityartha. So whatever was called as Mukti, which is seeing these two things in the form of Agni Swarupa, that itself is also Ati Mukti, because as soon as you see, you get the result also. That is the idea here. So, although while talking we are saying, okay, first you are seeing and then the seeing leads to your own identity like that, but all that is happening Yugapat, we can say, but still it is shown like this. So, the seeing which is Mukti itself is Ati Mukti, means that is the actual identity with the Agni Devata, and therefore the seeing becomes a sadhana for that Ati Mukti. So Ati Mukti sadhanam iti arthaha. Further, sadhana dvayasya parichinnasya ya adhidaivata rupena aparichinnena agni rupena drishtihi sa muktihi ya asau muktihi adhidaivata drishtihi saiva adhyatma adhibhuta paricheda Vishaya Angaspadam Mrityum Atikramya Adhidevatattvasya Agnibhavasya Praptihi Ya Phalabhuta Sa Ati Muktihi Iti Uchyate. So, okay, now Bhashyakara is actually writing like a summary, or basically is giving a note where in one sentence he is saying the whole thing, whatever we discussed till now. So there are sadhana dvaya are there, which is the vak and the hota, and they are parichinna. Okay, they are limited, and they are again what you are seeing them as the adi daivata rupa. So whatever is parichinna, you are now seeing that as the aparichinna devata rupa, who is Agni in this case, Agni rupena drishtihi. So that seeing is sa mukti, is called mukti here. That is mukti, and that seeing of these two in the form of the devata, that drishti itself is what, when you do that drishti, what is happening? Basically, you are seeing adhyatma adhibhuta. Adhyatma is the vak, adhibhuta is the hota, who are again paricheda. So they are all objects, they are all limited objects, correct? And on limited objects, this mrityu is there. Aspadam means it is established there, or it is sitting there basically. So the mrityu or this limitation in the form of karma phala is there. Now that you have to overcome. And therefore what? So by seeing it as the Devata, who is Agni in this case, you gain something. Prapti is there. And whatever prapti, whatever you gain by seeing that, what is that? That phalabhuta is that, is the liberation or ati muktihi. The phalam is basically you now have identity with the Agni Devata itself. So that's what Bhashyakara explains here. That is called sa ati muktihi iti uchyate. The phala you get by seeing these two as Agni Devata is the ati mukti. Tasyaha ati muktehe muktihi eva sadhanam iti kritva sa ati muktihi iti aha. So he is explaining that further. So for this ati mukti, the seeing which is mukti is the sadhana, is the means. So keeping that, this is called ati mukti. Further, Yajamanasya hi ati muktihi vagadinam ajnadi bhavaha iti udghita prakarane vyakhyata. Now, Bhashyakara is showing the connection. I told you, correct? With the udghita prakarana is nothing but the third brahmana in the first chapter. So some of you who have joined the class later on, you have to go back some 100 classes, I think, I don't know. So it is there. 1-3 is the Udgita Prakarana. In fact, 1-3 is a very, very interesting Brahmana. It starts as Dvayaha Prajapatyaha, Devascha, Asurascha, like that. So, everybody, we are all children of Prajapati. Okay, Prajapati is the original creator of all the living beings, at least you can take it like that, all the beings. And Prajapati's children only, both Deva and Asura are nothing but they are children of Prajapati. But Upanishad says Devas in number are less, Asuras are more. So here Bhashyakara, when he comments, so he makes an interesting observation. He says Deva means your own organs only, okay? Because each organ is having an Adhisthana Devata. So he says when the organs, both Deva and Asura are nothing but your organs only. But if the organs are going according to their own natural tendency towards their sense objects, then they are all Asuras. That is why Asuras means we derive the word Asura itself as Asusu Ramate iti Asuraha. That is the derivation actually, or the Vyutpatti. So the one who revels in the sense objects is an Asura. And then who is a Deva? The same sense organs, whether it is whatever, whether it is a organ of action also is included in this. All these organs, when they actually revel in Shastra karma, okay, whatever karma which has been mandated by the Shastra, so if you are engaged in that, then you are Deva. But if you go along with your natural tendencies, then it is Asura. Now this is how he says. Now the same thing only comes in this story also. So according to this story, both Devas and Asuras are there. Devas are less in number. So then they all have a council, maybe they talk amongst themselves and say, no, we have to win over the Asuras. We have to become better than the Asuras. So we will achieve that by chanting this Udgita. So Udgita is a particular in Samaveda it is there, it is a Sama. Okay. So they said that we'll chant this Udgita, and by that chanting we'll do whatever yajna we are doing, we will overcome, we'll become better than the Asuras. Then what they first call the Vag Indriya and tell that, hey Vag, you chant the Udgita for us. Then the Vag chants. And when the Vag chants, what happens? The general result of that chanting goes to all the Devas. Okay. But Upanishad says Kalyana, it uses the adjective. The Kalyana Phalam, okay, the special result or the fine speech, the result of fine speech. See, speech itself, generally everybody is speaking for communication. But some people are called speakers, correct? They are public speakers and all that. So speaking itself is a big thing for some people. In fact, they do only that, I think. Even for earning, for a living, there are people who only speak. So maybe that's all fine speaking. And the result of that, Vagindriya kept for itself, it seems. So some of the results it kept for itself, means it was selfish. Rest of the results were shared with all the other devas who are all Indriyas in this case, or the Adhisthana devatas of different Indriyas. Because of that, now the Asuras had an opening, it seems. Now they said, okay, if the Vagindriya continues this Gita chanting, then they will become better than this, they will defeat us. So all the Asuras now go and attack the Vagindriya. And since the Vagindriya kept this result, some result for itself, it became susceptible for this attack. And what is the result of the attack of Asuras? Vagindriya started speaking improper things. So that is the result. Then it itself became an Asura by speaking improper things. Like this, that is a story, in fact. It's a very interesting story. Then, in fact, each and every organ they ask. After Vag, then they ask the nose. Okay, Grana Prana. Then nose also that does that, it chants the Udgita. But then nose also gave some general result to all the devatas, but all fine smells, fragrances and all that result it kept for itself, it seems. Then again it was attacked by the Asuras. Once it was susceptible to that attack and it started smelling improper things. Like this, each and every, they talk about eyes. Eyes also, in general eyesight, the phala of the eyesight is there for everybody, but seeing some whatever fine things, that it kept for itself. And again it was attacked by the Asuras, and then it started seeing improper things. Finally they came to prana. Okay, all the other organs are all like this, you can assume they all did improper things when they were attacked by the Asuras. But prana also chanted the Udgita, but prana is very selfless. It did not keep anything for itself, or it basically divided all the phala with everybody. Now that also we can see, correct? Prana is the one which actually distributes the nourishment in the body. It doesn't keep anything for itself. You eat the food and prana is the one which digests that and then distributes it to all the organs. Because of that only all organs are even functioning. If you don't eat any food and nothing is being distributed by the prana, all the indriyas also they will become kshina and eventually they will die. So prana is the only organ which does not keep anything for itself, it seems. And it distributes all the phala to everybody. Because of that, it is the purest. Like this, the Upanishad says in the third Brahmana. And so because of that, it is not susceptible to the attack by the Asuras. So Asuras try to attack the prana also, but then they are like a cloud of mud. When you throw it on a rock, what will happen? It will all disintegrate into many pieces. Like that, these Asuras became into pieces. They could not attack the prana. That is why you can also see prana for us. Life is sacred wherever it is. It is the same, in fact. Wherever life may be, whether it is in a human being or anywhere else, all life is viewed as similar, as sacred, because that is all prana. Prana is the same. It is manifesting or whatever it is nourishing may be different, correct? Because the Sukshma Sharira of different things are different. Human beings, Sukshma Sharira different. Animal, it is different. Plants, it is different. All that is fine. But prana is still prana. Prana is the same everywhere. So there the upasana is, then they say that where is this prana? Who is this great pure prana, because of whom, again, because of prana only, again, all the other indriyas also got their devatvam back, because after the attack by asuras, they all became asuras by doing improper things. But only because of the prana, they got their devatvam back, means they again reclaimed their divinity, you can say. And then they ask, where is this prana? Means the prana is there in the mouth. Like that, you have to do the upasana. That is the ayasya angirasaha, like that one actual name is given to the prana in that brahmana. Because prana is there in the this ayasya means in the mouth. So that upasana in general was given. That's what Bhashyakara is referring here. Okay, I told you almost the whole story, I think. Anyway, so here Yajamana sihi atimukti agadinam ajnadi bhavaha iti udgitha prakarane vyakyatam. So this was said there also. Okay, but it was said in a general manner. Tatra samanyena mukhya prana darshana matram mukti sadhanam muktam. So there, because the prana is that whole third brahmana is about prana upasana. And the mukhya prana again, correct? Prana means again, there is also in the pancha prana also there is a prana. Prana, pana, vyana, udana, samanaha. When we enumerate, that prana is different. That prana means the breath we take in is called prana. But otherwise, mukhya prana means all these 5 functions or physiological functions put together also is prana. So the mukhya prana is to be seen in your own mouth. That is the upasana, and then you identify yourself with that prana itself, and then again you gain whatever this ati mukti, amritatvam and all that. So it was said in general like that, but the vishesha was not given there. Na tad visheshaha. So how do you see yourself as the mukhya prana? Means first you have to see yourself as all these indriyas also you have to see as their adidevatas, and prana is nothing but basically a combination or a compound of all these. Like this only we have to understand finally. So the Vishesha was not given in the Udgita Prakarana. That is given here, he says. So Vagadinam Ajnadi Darshanam Iha Visheshaha Varnyate. So here that is being the details of how to see each of your Indriya, and then finally see yourself as the Prana. That is, the details are given here. Vag for Agni, eyes for Aditya, like that. Each one we'll be seeing here. So Mrityu Prapti Mukti Hitu Saiva Phalabhuta. So the Mrityu Prapti Mukti means what? The liberation from the pervasion of this Mrityu is the phala of this all any upasana here. And that was said in Udgita also. Ya Udgita Brahmanena Vyakhyata. So there also it is said Mrityum Atikrantaha Deepyate, like that you can go and see 1, 3, 12, 1, 3, 13, 14, 15, because each one that you overcome. The Vag overcame, the nose overcame. All this is given there. Okay, but by seeing it as everything as prana, like that it is said in the Samanya, but here more Vishesha, more details, specific details are given. So that is the connection he is giving between 1, 3 and 3, 1. Maybe 1, 3 and 3, 1 also. Anyway, so further what? Okay, Ashvala is not, okay, he answered one question, but he is not over yet. So he is further asking, Yajnavalkyeti hovacha ididam sarvam ahoratrabhyam aptam sarvam ahoratrabhyam abhipannam kena yajamanaha ratrayoho aptim atimuchyate iti. So now Ashvala is asking a question. Hey Yajnavalkya, he again tells his name and addresses him. This whatever is there here, everything, it is all pervaded by day and night. Okay, so pervaded by day and night means what? Again, day and night is time. So the karma phala, we can take it as limitation due to object, because a karma phala is giving you some limited object only as the result. So whenever we talk about parichinnatvam, we talk about it in three ways. Okay, one is with reference to object, because one object is not another object. So by one object being itself only, it has limited itself from everything else. So that is what is called vastu paricheda, the limitation with reference to an object. So the previous one is about karma phala being parichinna. So that is, we can take it as vastu paricheda was addressed there. But now kala paricheda, the limitation with reference to time is talked about. So here everything is pervaded by aho and ratra, day and night. Again, time also here we'll see later. It is divided into two. One is time with reference to sun, which is day and night. Another is time with reference to moon, which is all tithi. The tithi does not exactly follow day night. You understand that tithi can start, the lunar day can start at any time of the solar day. So here also Upanishad is very particular. It first talks about the solar based time as a limitation. Then it is talking about paksha and all that. The Krishna paksha, Shukla paksha, etc. That is the lunar day as a time and a limitation. So first the solar is coming here. So how does this Yajamana transcend this limitation with reference to time? Then what does Yajnavalkya say here? He says, Advaryuna Ritvija Chakshusha Chakshusha Adityena. Okay, that is the Sandhi here. Okay. Sometimes Sanskritam Sandhi is, you have to be very alert. So Chakshusha Adityena. Aditya is the Devata. So basically he says, now you have to see your eyes as Aditya Devata, and you also have to see the Ritvik. Already Hota we are seeing as Agni. Now Advaryu is the Yajurveda priest. Okay. So the Yajurveda Ritvik Advaryu has to be seen as Aditya Devata, and you also have to see your own eyes also as Aditya Devata, because Aditya is the Adhishtana Devata for eyes. And that's why we have Aditya Hridayam and all as a prayer, correct? Even if somebody is having some problem with their eyes, we tell them that you do Surya Namaskara. Everything is with reference to, in yoga you have to do Surya Namaskara. In prayers you have to do Aditya Hridayam. Or they will say you wear some stone which is for the Aditya as the Navagraha. See, everywhere there will be some connection with the Adhishtana Devata, any remedy also. It is all like that. So here Aditya Devata only you have to see as your eyes and the Advaryu. And so that's what then he says, Chakshur vai yajnasya Advaryuhu tad yadidam chakshuhu saha asau adityaha saha Advaryuhu saha muktihi saha sa ati muktihi. So this part is somewhat similar, correct? So basically it is saying that this Chakshu and the Advaryu is nothing but Aditya Devata. Once you see like that, then of course you are transcending the individual limitations of these organs and also the Advaryu also. And that itself is Mukti, and that is Ati Mukti. So that's what is said here. We'll quickly see the Bhashya. Yajnavalketi hovacha. So Bhashyakara doesn't comment that. That is the same thing. Swabhavikat Ajnana Asanga Prayuktat Karma Lakshanat Mrityoho Ati Muktihi Vyakhyata. So now Bhashyakara says already how to transcend the Karma Lakshana Mrityu, that which was characterized by karma and its phala, that how to transcend that has been already described. Okay. Now what? Tasya karmanaha sasangasya mrityoho ashraya bhutanam darsha purnamaasadi karma sadhananam yaha viparinamam, okay, viparinama hetuhu kalaha tasmat kalat prithak adimuktehi vaktavya iti idam arabhyate. So now what is the next? Why is it this being started? Means he says, see, we talked about karma and how to overcome the limitations of the karma. But karma itself is connected to time. Action means it is connected to time. So karmanaha sasangasya means what? Karma itself is connected to another thing where mrityu is, is sitting, it seems. Mrityoho ashraya bhutana. What are they? So when you say karma, means here Vaidika karma only Bhashyakara is talking about. But we can extend it to all karma also. But in Vaidika karma, there are karma called Darsha Purnamasa is there. Darsha and Purnamasa. Now all these karma have an inherent time element also. The Purnamasa karma means you have to do only during Purnami. Correct? So these karma which are sadhana, but they are also dependent on time, which is the viparinama hetuhu kalaha. So which is the one, which is the reason for modification of everything, in fact. He says viparinama means modification. Parinama, viparinama. So kala is the one which is changing, which keeps with time everything changes. So this kala is there still. How to overcome the kala? Therefore, this new upasana is talked about, or it is started. What is that? Kriyanusthana vyatirekenapi prak urdhvancha kriyayaha sadhana viparinama hetutvena vyapara darshanat kalasya tasmat prithak kalat adimuktihi vaktavya ityataha aha. So whether you do kriya anusthana or not, okay, everything is afflicted by time. Okay, time is the sadhana viparinama hetu, Bhashyakara says. So any means is there, including karma, they are all affected by time. Okay, so time has been observed. Okay, vyapara darshanat kalasya. Kalasya vyapara darshanat means what? The activity of kala. The time acts upon so many things, and in time everything changes. So this is known. Therefore, time has to be now overcome, or you have to transcend time. So tasmat prithak, separately you also have to now transcend the time. The limitation with reference to time has to be overcome. Therefore, this is said. What is said? Yedidam sarvam ahoratrabhyam aptam. So Upanishad itself says everything is pervaded by day and night. And day and night here is what? Nothing but sacha kalaha dvirupaha Bhashyakara. So Bhashyakara says day and night are nothing but two forms of time. Ahoratradi lakshanaha, tithyadi lakshanascha. Sorry. Okay, so first he says not the ahoratra. Sorry. So he says kalaha dvirupaha means kalaha itself is of two forms. Okay, what are those two? One is in the form of day and night, which is the solar time I told you. Another is tithyadi lakshanascha, he says. So tithyadi lakshanascha means kala also is characterized by lunar day and night. So there is a solar day and night, and there is a lunar time. So dvirupaha, but tatra ahoratradi lakshana tavat atimuktimaha. So here only the ahoratra lakshana atimukti, the transcending the solar day and night alone is being talked about in this particular upasana. Okay, that's what he points out. So kala is characterized by two forms. One form is first addressed. And what is that? Ahoratrabhyam hi sarvam jayate vardhate vinashyati cha. So in day and night only everything is born, everything grows, and everything is gone. Okay, everything is destroyed. Tatha yajna sadhanancha. So If that is the case, then whatever is the yajna sadhana, they are all also, whatever is the means to do any yajna, they are also afflicted by time. Okay. So yajnasya yajamanasya chakshuhu adhvaryuscha. So basically, then what is the solution for this? The yajamana's eyes and the advaryu, both of them. So what should you do with reference to them? Shishtan, Shishtani, Aksharani, Puravat, Neyani. Okay, the other, whatever is left, everything else you have to understand, like whatever it has been explained. Bhashyakara doesn't explain again. So he says that you take the Chakshu and the Adharyu, and then you have to view them as Aditya Devata. And that will make you, once you have the identity with the Aditya Devata, you have transcended the time, the solar time. So Yajamanasya Chakshuhu Advaryuscha Sadhanadvayam Adhyatma Adibhuta Parichedam Hitva Adhidaivata Atmana Drishtam Yat Sa Muktihi. So here also, by seeing the Yajamana's eyes and the Advaryu, both of whom are limited as the limitless totality of Aditya Devata, that seeing itself is the Mukti. Then Saha Advaryuhu Aditya Bhavana Drishtaha Mukti. So the Advaryu who is seen as the Aditya himself is the Mukti, and Saiva Muktihi eva Ati Muktihi iti Purvavat, and that alone again will lead you to the actual Phala, which is the identity with the Aditya Devata, and that by that you transcend. Okay. So Aditya Atma Bhavam Apannasya hi na hauratre sambhavataha. So once, if you yourself are the sun, see, this even in one way it is beautiful, correct? Only on earth, sun can give you day and night. Once you go to sun, will you have any day and night? There is no day and night in sun itself, correct? Sun is always bright. So that way, you have transcended day and night. Like that. So because if you now your identity is with the Aditya itself, means you are no more subjected to day, night, etc. That is the idea here, I think. So that's how you transcend. Okay, next one is what? Again, Ashwala. Yajnavalketi hovacha yedidam sarvam purva paksha apara pakshabhyam aptam sarvam purva paksha apara pakshabhyam abhipannam kena yajamanaha purva paksha apara pakshayoho aptim atimuchyata iti. So Ashwala is now asking with reference to the moon, as I told you, purva paksha apara paksha, like the two pakshas are there, correct? In one paksha there is a sun, this moon is waxing, in another it is waning. So we have all this Shukla Paksha, Krishna Paksha, like that. So everything is covered by this Paksha also. It is pervaded and it is under the Vasha of this Pakshas. So how does one overcome that? Means, again, here, Yajnavalkya, okay, Sandhi you have to break. Udgatra Ritvija, okay. Udgatra Tvija Vayuna Pranena Pranaha vai yajnasya Udgata Tadyaha ayam Pranaha sa Vayuhu sa Udgata sa Muktihi sa Ati Muktihi. So here, next is how does one overcome the lunar time? Means you have to see the Udgatra, who is the Samaveda priest. Okay. So the Ritvik, who is known as Udgatra, and also your own prana in the body. Both you have to see it as Vayu. Okay. So you have to see as Vayu Devata. And then once you see like that, what? Then you have, basically you have transcended the lunar time also. Because pranaha itself, prana is really your own, the Vayu Devata only is your prana also. It is also the the Udgatra, Swarupa, and seeing like that itself is Mukti, and that itself will lead you to Ati Mukti also here. So that's what Bhashyakara is saying. Let us see the Bhashya quickly. Idanim Tithyadi Lakshanad Ati Mukti Uchyate. So right now what? Here the liberation from Tithi, from lunar time is being talked about. Yedidam sarvam ahoratrayoho avishishtayoho adityaha karta na pratipadadinam tithinam. So ahoratra, when we talked about, it is being the one who is the maker of day and night is sun. Okay, adityaha karta ahoratrayoho. Okay, but he is not the karta of all these tithis, the lunar time. Tasam tu vriddikshaya upagamenena pratipat prabhritina chandramaha karta. So the tithi, who is the doer of all this lunar tithis, means it is chandrama only. It is the moon. Okay, so the moon is waxing, waning. Because of that only the tithis are also calculated based on the waxing and waning of the moon. But indirectly sun only is the karta of that also. The Shastra knows that, but here anyway it is taking moon separately, sun separately, and so sun and moon are talked about separately. So moon is the karta of the tithi. So ataha tad apatya purva paksha apara paksha tyayaha. So with reference to the moon only, depending on the moon only, the purva paksha and apara paksha are there. Correct? The Krishna paksha, Shukla paksha, etc. is all dependent on the moon. And aditya apatya ahoratrat iti okay, ahoratratyayat yayavat. Okay. See the ahoratra or days are all dependent on the aditya, and the Krishna paksha, Shukla paksha, and all the tithis are dependent on Chandrama, the moon. This is said here. Tatra yajamanasya pranaha vayuhu. So again here, how does one overcome this lunar time? Means first you have to see your own individual prana as Vayu Devata, and that same Vayu Devata is also the Udgata. Sayeva Udgata, the Samaveda priest also is the Vayu Devata Swarupa. Iti Udgita Brahmanaha Avagatam. In the Udgita Brahmana also, 1.3 also this was said. Vacha cha hi evasa pranena cha udgayat, like that. So the prana is, with the prana only he did this udgana. Okay, udgayat. So this was already said and it was established. Okay, iti cha nirdharitam. Now that alone is also talked about here. Ata etasya pranasya apaha shariram jyoti rupam asau chandraha iti. Also it was said there, this prana sharira is jyoti rupa. It is all bright. Okay, but it is not like blinding brightness of the sun. It is the pleasant light of the moon, it was compared. So jyoti rupam asau chandraha iti, it was said there already in 1.3. The prana's sharira, prana has a watery sharira, it seems, apas sharira, kind of a transparent and bright also at the same time, and that brightness is like a chandrama. So now Bhashyakara is connecting all that here also, because that is why he is saying the time with reference to the moon. To overcome that, now you have to use Vayu and Prana Upasana. Prana as Vayu Upasana. Why? What is the connection? Why Chandrama And prana and vayu are connected means he is trying to connect all that by showing that already this was said in the Udgita Prakarana itself. The same thing is now here given as the Upasana. So I think the details we'll see next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.